In terms of protecting software as a service, we're going to always talk about our gateway technology because this is the technology we use in all architectures involving software as a service. The idea is that gateway is always placed in between the client and the cloud application. It works as a reverse proxy, essentially. What it does, it intercepts any sort of TCP IP protocols and then scans the payload for the sensitive values and then writes these values either protected or unprotected if we're returning it to the client. With that sort of technology, it can cover all sorts of cloud applications. The first example is Salesforce. Imagine we have a simple use case of saying only my administrators and people who own accounts can see this information in the clear. In the clear meaning the actual values. Everybody else, if you're a different account manager, you can't really see anything that's going on in this account. In terms of the design pattern, we put a cloud gateway or data security gateway in between the client and the application. And then the cloud gateway is responsible for intercepting all sorts of writes and reads from this application. And so imagine we have an account manager that creates a new account A, with the address in Singapore. And this information, before it's written to Salesforce, is going to go through the security gateway. Gateway intercept that request and scan it for sensitive data. You wouldn't be able to read the account name anymore or read the address anymore. And this is how it would look like for different users when they want to access the data that's protected at rest. I have in this example three different users: account manager A, account manager B, and anybody else. My data is protected at rest. So if my account manager A wants to access Salesforce, they will see this information in the clear for their own account. As you see, they see account name A and the address because it's their own account. Account manager B similarly would only see information that's available to them, that they've created or somebody assigned to them. And then finally, anybody else wouldn't be able to see any sort of information in the clear. As you see, I have two tabs open. This is the original Salesforce, and this is Salesforce redirected through my data security gateway. What I wanted to show you now is how you define service like Salesforce on a data security gateway and how configurable this software is. So I'm now in Salesforce, and on the right-hand side, you see all sorts of configuration settings I've set. So what I've done is I defined what sort of traffic I should be intercepting at HTTP, how it's going to go through a gateway, and what sort of addresses I should be monitoring. Another thing is how the actual protection looks like. So of course, if you want to protect a certain element on a website, you have to point gateway to it. Every element in HTML would live on a specific website. So we'd normally be able to know the URL to that website. And also, of course, depending on the website's design, but you'll be able to point to a specific element in HTML form, or even if this is a huge dump of text, you can still do some sort of even regular expressions to filter this content down to the value you want to protect. You can pretty much point to the specific element on the website. Another thing, of course, you do is you specify at what moment in that interception you want to capture the data. So whether this is the response to a GET request or this is a POST request that you want to capture. And of course, there's much more configuration settings, but I think these are the more important in that case. In my Salesforce, I'm going to protect the account address and also the account name. To do that, I will log in through the gateway. Let's now start and create a new account. Okay, I'll do something like account A, and that'll be only visible to me. Okay, prospect, aerospace and defense, Asia Pacific, why not? And so we want to protect this information and also all sorts of address information. So for, I don't know, Main Street 1, Singapore, country. Okay, I think that's it. I don't have to put in any other information, but keep in mind that I could potentially protect any of these fields. I'll save this account. Now, this information is going through the gateway, and the gateway scanned this payload and protected it. The best way to actually check whether this information has been saved and is protected at rest is going through the original Salesforce. So bypassing DSG, and this could be, anybody could actually do it. Any sort of user could say, well, what if I don't go through the gateway? Would I be able to see the data in the clear? And of course, the answer is not. And as you see, my recent accounts, there's this funny name starting with a Polish sign O. This is an account I just created. As you remember, we've chosen aerospace and defense for Asia Pacific. My account name and also my billing address has been protected. If I am authorized to see this information in the clear, I'll be able to see this account is actually in Singapore and its name is account A. Anybody else, unless they're authorized, won't be able to see this data.